Well, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. I want to welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is our fourth webinar as part of our webinar series, fourth edition, where we have been going over the chapters of my book, Addicted to Life, How I Went from Homeless to Extraordinary Success and Happiness in a Short Period of Time. I want to assure you that I recognize that everybody's in the middle of their workday at some point of their workday, and I promise not to pull a marathon today. I think you'll be pleased. I think we're going to be 30 minutes or less here today, but I wanted to share with you the 8 building blocks, or the 8 chapters of our book, of my book, Addicted to Life. Chapter 1, we talked about a few weeks ago. You've got to be done, right? First and foremost, you've got to be done with the way things have been. You've got to be willing to make some changes and get uncomfortable and take action. Got to create that wave of momentum, which is nothing more than stacked actions. And you got to prepare now for what's coming. That's what we're going to talk about today, is chapter 4. And now, why is that important? Let's talk about that. So the difference between where you are right now and where you will be in 5 years is the books that you read, the podcasts and CDs that you listen to, the webinars and seminars you attend. So congratulations for being here, and the people that you meet. Seeing things that do not exist yet as though they do is an essential part of anyone's success, right? You can't just go on what you can see. You've got to step out in faith for what you believe will be. This is what separates the high achievers from the crowd, and preparation is what makes that possible, okay? So, ideal scene, what does that mean? Well, the first step in determining what the ideal scene is for you, what does that look like? Because if you're going to experience extraordinary success and happiness in a short period of time, you have to prepare now for when the opportunity of your dreams comes along. And that means that you need to figure out what the person you need to be looks like, and start working towards becoming that person every day, every week, okay? That is so vitally important, because in other words, what do you need to know and how do you need to behave to be ready when, not if, but when the time comes for you to take advantage of an opportunity that may only come along every 5 or 10 years? Will you be able to analyze it to know if it's an incredible opportunity? Will you have the relationships created with the advisors you need to help you determine that it is a quality opportunity? First of all, this could be the difference between catastrophic results and your dreams coming true. It's all in the preparation. I spent 90 minutes yesterday with a group of superstar business owners that are part of my inner circle all-in community, and all we did was go over the steps for preparing for what was to come for this coming quarter. January, February, and March, setting out 3 large items we call a quarterly action plan, big rocks, and the steps associated with those big rocks that's going to push the ball just a little bit further down the field towards the ideal scene that they have for them and their business and their lives. Would that be good? I know that they're very excited. It was just an awesome opportunity to work with them. So one of the keys is advantages. Trust me when I tell you, I should tell you this too, that not one opportunity that Claudia and I have taken advantage of has been wrapped in a package that said, this is the one you've been waiting for. This is the ideal opportunity, okay? Not one of them. So I just want to be perfectly clear about that everything that comes your way is going to have you, is really going to have you question whether or not it's a good opportunity. None of them came wrapped in a package that said, this is the one you've been waiting for. Your prayers have been answered now, or this one's a no-brainer. More accurately, every opportunity has been wrapped in a package with a red flashing light that read, proceed with caution, or you could lose everything if you're wrong. It's all about the advantages that you create for yourself out in the marketplace. That's why preparation for what's coming is so vitally important. I'm going to pause for a moment here and just test my testing. Fantastic. Everything's working just perfectly. That's why preparation for what's coming, what you have not even for what you have not even seen yet, is so important, guys. I can't stress that enough. You're going to hear me talk about that over and over and over again as we talk about different get-togethers, different times. So a question that I encourage everybody to ask yourself is, what am I doing to differentiate myself out in the marketplace? There is unbelievable power in the preparation. I believe God blesses it beyond measure. I speak from my own experience. One of my mentors, Jim Rohn, would say, you have to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He's referring to preparation. When I first got sober, my sponsor told me that if I would work on myself and my recovery just 10% as hard as I did on getting high, I would beat the odds and stay sober. This I could relate to. You see, when I was out there actively using drugs, I worked my butt off from morning until night and then some on doing the things necessary to come up with the money to get the drugs, to do the drugs, then to get the drugs, and then to find a place to stay after being up for all that time. Working on my recovery, just 10% of that time was all I needed to do. That was easy. Working harder on myself than I did my job was easy too. So a lot of you might recognize this. This is very likely showing my age a little bit, bringing out Carlton Sheets. But for those of us with a few gray hairs, we remember the days that Carlton was on the infomercial scene back before infomercials were so regular, every single weekend. And as I talk about in my book, I saw his infomercials, and there was no way when I purchased this no money down home study course, there was no way that I could have known how important that this Carlton Sheets home study course was going to be for my future. But it was part of the preparation for my home renovation business that we have today. And as you'll read in my book, I didn't buy any houses when I first purchased this. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even afford to purchase this. And the series of details that led up to us actually getting this study course was an absolute mind blower. So I encourage you, now when people come to me nowadays, I will tell you, and they ask me what is the first step to enter into the real estate realm, this is one of my first suggestions is find one of these old courses that haven't been opened because someone didn't take action for $50 up on eBay or Amazon, and they do. They find them all the time. Part of the preparation is going to be setting goals. I spent, as I told you guys already, I spent 90 days with a group, 90 minutes, excuse me, with a group yesterday with a group of superstar business owners that are part of my inner circle. And we feel it's pretty important to set goals and put those things that are not yet transpired out in front of us, as well as an action plan to try to accomplish those. It's so vital, important part of the preparation, guys. I just can't stress that enough. I will tell you that to this day, Claudia and I set aside time and money to continue to prepare ourselves for what's to come. As you continue to grow and your circumstances start to expand, you will be able to see around the bend in the road and recognize where you should strengthen your knowledge currently. Remember, the road to success is a curved road, and you only can see up to the bend in the road. That's just how it works. You can't handle all the details all up front. For those of us that are business owners, that have been business owners for quite a while, if we were exposed to what we needed to know and what we know now by sheer automation, if we were exposed to it back then, we wouldn't even have thought of purchasing our business. You just don't need to know all of that right now. What you do need to do is prepare now for what's coming, what will move you closer to your ideal scene eventually. These are some of our certificates. I guess I should say that about the photo. So the ones to the left of the yellow one that hang on the beam in our office are auto repair. The ones on the right are real estate. And we have a lot of those certificates. And as I said, we continue to acquire those today. This is my CCRM, Certified California Residential Manager, for managing properties. And when we started doing this, I want to remind you, we were working on our business 12 hours a day, which back then, hands-on, on the counter for an auto repair shop, our first auto repair shop. Claudia was working the counter, I was working the counter, and we still took the time, made the time, set aside the money to prepare for what was coming. I just want to stress that. I know oftentimes people think, well, yeah, that's easy for you because of where you're at, but no, we did that to get where we're at back when we weren't in the place that we are now. Can't stress that enough. Some of you have met Richard Broadwater. He's in my book, the guy that was able to see past my appearance and hired me as an auto service advisor back when I had gotten sober. I think I was about 60 days sober when he first hired me. And I remember while working for Richard as a service manager, there would be times, service advisor, eventually service manager, there would be times when a customer would ask me, are you the owner? And obviously I had made a positive impression for them to even ask that, right? But sadly my answer would always start with me laughing out loud before telling them, no, I am not the owner. This is how little I thought of myself at the time, because in my mind, I couldn't be worthy of that title. In my mind, I was nothing more than a homeless, drug-addicted shoplifter. Even after Richard had bought me my first set of teeth and I got healthy and I no longer looked like I was on a hunger strike, in my mind, I was still that homeless, toothless, unemployable guy. And part of the preparation for the next level is to remove any feelings of inadequacy that you may have. Just got to remove them. Any feelings that you don't do, that you're not worthy of the success, the achievement of your dreams, that just has to be dealt with as quickly as possible. Zig Ziglar taught me that God doesn't make any junk. Joel Osteen taught me that I was a child of the Most High God and that I had royal blood flowing through my veins. There were countless other books and authors that changed my heart, which changed my mind and allowed me to believe that God wants nothing but the best for his children. One of the most important books that I read at that time was the Bible, which is part of my daily routine to this day, 20 years later. When you prepare for the next level, there will be people in your life that see in you the improved qualities that you can't even see yet. The behaviors you've been working towards that you want to produce that you just don't see it because you're too close to it. As you continue to mature emotionally, they can't help but notice that something has changed, that the transformation that takes place is a gradual one, not visible to you at first, but it is inevitable if you're preparing for what's to come. Preparation here, guys, is what we're talking about. That's the key. If you're working on yourself daily, truly investing in yourself, you will eventually walk away from situations that take place and say to yourself, who was that guy? Who was that gal? As you review your own behavior, that's the power of preparation. And I know this from experience. Want to introduce you to my dad. This is my dad. Him and I were at the balloon fiesta in New Mexico back in 2008. And I'll tell you a story about my dad and the power of preparation. When I first got sober in 1999, it was roughly around Thanksgiving, November 22nd, 1999, just a little before Thanksgiving. And at Christmas time, we went to stay with my dad and my parents out in San Diego from Arizona. And my father had us stay in a trailer on his property because he wasn't sure about me yet. I had spoiled our trust relationship pretty badly by that time. 5 years later, he came to me with the suggestion that I move to California and buy a business. You see, he saw in me the changes that I could not see. That's the power of preparation. So some other questions that I would have laughed at prior to an answer were the following. How is your marriage doing? Do you think you're a good parent? Do you have many friends? How's your spiritual life? Do you work out? Did you go to college? How's your financial base? I can honestly say that I would not have to laugh at any of these questions anymore, but if you're like I was back then and you would have to laugh a little bit before answering any of these questions, my question to you is, what are you doing about it? If none of these apply to you, that's fantastic. These are really just examples, guys, but surely there must be an area in your life that needs additional attention. My encouragement would be to not be complacent about it and prepare. Take some action. One of my mentors, Gary Gunn, would say, it's easy to prepare, but it's easier not to. How many can relate to that? See, we all have to fight this battle daily, okay? Another mentor would say, it's better to be prepared without an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. What a tragedy this would be. And another quote is, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Will you be prepared when that opportunity comes? That's the question for all of us, isn't it? Regardless of the level that you're at currently, my suggestion would be to be prepared. Prepare now. Get ready for the next level. It's unlikely that you're already the person you need to be for the next season of your life, for those dreams and goals that you've been praying for to come to fruition. You need to prepare to become the person that you need to be. That's part of generating or developing your ideal scene. A big part of your ideal scene is, what does that look like? What do you look like? What is the person that you look like, that you've become, in order to be able to handle that type of success? Because that is where the best preparation strategy is looking at me and determining, am I the person yet that I need to be? What classes do I need to take? What preparation do I need to take? What is the next step? What is the next building block for me to succeed and become the person that I need to be to prepare to be? So a friendly reminder, we have an all-in community that is designed to drill down deeper on the 8 building blocks. And if you're interested in finding out more about that, just go to my website, robrowsell.com, and click on the Access the Community button to learn more. And then, as the slide says, this is not a dress rehearsal, guys. This is life. The clock is ticking. We've got to prepare now for what's to come, regardless of the level that we're at. And I just want to encourage everybody that's on this call, be the best version of you that there is. And I appreciate y'all being here today. And God bless y'all, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.